Georgia Dream does require that you have at least $1,000 into investment into the purchase.
$1,000.
$1,000.
Okay.
And it can be your earnest money. So keep that in mind. But so potentially with this program, $1,000, you can buy a brand new house.
Well, I'm excited to have you on our podcast today.
Excited to be here.
Yeah, so you've been with me for over 5 years now.
Yep.
University of Georgia grad.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. You played softball.
I did for a few years.
Yeah.
Prior to transferring over to the University of Georgia, I played my whole life, played 2 years in a JUCO, transferred over to Georgia, and graduated in 2017.
And I was so lucky. You went into banking.
I did.
And then a mutual friend of ours, maybe it was your mother-in-law, actually.
It was. Yeah. I think ran into you, of all places, somewhere drinking wine.
Yeah.
And y'all got to talking.
Yes.
And we actually had wine at my interview,
That's
first
right.
interview,
That's
here in Monroe.
That's right.
So, yeah.
And we hit it off just fine because of that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We were like-minded for sure.
For sure. Yeah.
But I have absolutely enjoyed you being a part of my team. You are a huge asset. And I just am just so proud to, you're actually kind of like my daughter.
Yep.
And I sure love you, and you do a great job. One of the big things that you really have just taken on and just mastered is the Georgia Dream down payment assistance programs to help all of our first-time home buying programs.
Yeah, recently we've seen a big uptick in that. Obviously, the interest rates are fantastic with that loan program.
It is below market, right?
It is, yes. It's pretty much the best interest rate on the market
and the
right
state
now.
sets those, right?
Correct. We have nothing to do with those. So if you call me and you don't like it, I don't make the rules. I just enforce them.
Right.
But you're going to be happy with that interest rate. That's
no discount points.
No.
Yeah.
And it just is what it is. So, first time home buyers with Georgia Dream, it is a huge, huge, huge advantage for them. Most people don't have that money just laying around a lot of times. So it's extremely helpful for them. 0% interest on the down payment piece of it. And it's essentially a short term or long term, depending on how long you keep the house.
Sure.
Interest-free money.
And you've saved so many deals helping first-time home buyers utilizing this program.
Yeah. I think a lot of people come in and they apply for a loan and they don't know. I wouldn't know if I wasn't in the industry what's out there, what's available. So that's honestly really the first thing that I kind of look at for people, because even if they have the money in the bank, they don't want to spend it.
Sure.
They want to keep it
to
pay that mortgage.
Right. And they need to buy furniture, and they need to have a little nest egg.
Right. Or maybe they're starting a family and they want to keep that money in their pocket. So always look at that first. It's a great program. We have, again, seen a huge uptick in it. So I've done a lot more this year than in any year past. I've noticed it's a great option for a lot of people.
So let's talk about the brand new Georgia Dream program, conventional product that we just rolled, where you don't have to be a first-time home buyer for that one.
Correct. Yeah, very similar to the Georgia Dream program. With the exception of it is conventional, like you said, versus an FHA type loan. There's still income limits, but once again, you do not have to be a first-time home buyer on this program. The income limits are a little different than with your standard Georgia Dream. They're calculated a little bit differently. Different debt to income ratios. We're going to look at that thing. So very similar programs, but depending on what you're looking for and what you need, one may be better for you than the other.
But that's why we like to talk to the customer in depth before they go shopping for a home, because we look at all of those options for them.
Right. And I most of the time won't even tell you, like, do you like this or do you like I know what you need because I do it all day, every day.
Correct.
And I say, look, this is what you need. This
Which
is the best program for
what
you.
sets us aside.
Right. I would want someone to tell me, you give me too many options.
It's kind of like going to the doctor.
Yeah.
You go to the doctor, you want to listen to their opinion because they're the professional.
Experts. Right.
They're
Tell
the
me what
expert.
I need, no more, no less, and let's get this thing going.
Yeah, so we're really excited to roll that conventional program. So let's get into the regular Georgia Dream loan. Let's talk about the PIN program first.
Okay. So Georgia Dream, you're going to have 3 tiers, really. So you have standard, PIN, and choice.
What does PIN mean?
PIN, protectors, educators, nurses.
Okay.
So if you fall in that field, you're going to get a little bit more money from Georgia Dream. So your standard Georgia Dream is $10,000 goes towards down payment and or your closing cost. If you are a protector, an educator, or a nurse, and there are a lot of things really that can fall in those areas, they are going to actually give you $12,500 towards your down payment and your closing costs.
So you have to pay that mortgage back. I'm sorry. You have to pay that grant, if you will, back.
You do. Yeah. And that's a question that I get quite often because it used to not be that way.
Right.
There was a point in time where it was forgivable. That is no longer the case. It's been that way for several years. At least since I've been in the industry, it's been that way. So when you sell your house or refinance, down the road, you have some equity and you get a different loan program, you're no longer in the Georgia Dream. At that point in time, it does have to be paid back. So typically it's included in the payoff of the mortgage.
Great point, but we need to make sure that everyone knows there's no interest that accrues and there's no payments that is necessary until the payoff when you sell the home, correct?
Yes, you're just paying your regular interest on your first mortgage, just like any other mortgage. That other money is considered a silent second, which all that means to you is it's 0% interest. It's just going to sit out there until you once again sell or refinance your home.
So you do have to be a first-time home buyer for the programs we're talking about now. So the difference between the PIN is obviously your profession, and then the other regular Georgia Dream is just for first-time home buyers. And the definition of a first-time home buyer is you have not owned a home in the past 3 years.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Owned a home, not bought a home. I think that's the question I get a lot. Well, yeah, I'm a home, but I bought it 5 years ago. You're still not considered first-time home buyer. If you bought it 5 years ago and then you sold it and now it's 4 years later, you are again a first-time home buyer. But it is bought a home, not owned a home in the last, or vice versa.
I got you. So their name cannot be associated with any deeds in the past
3 years.
For 3 years.
Correct.
Okay. Let's talk about the time frame as far as how long it takes to do one of these types of loans and the process.
Yeah. So it can vary. Obviously, Georgia Dreams turn times, they are again variable. So it depends on the time of year, how busy they are. However, in my experience, especially in the last year, they are on it right now. I have not seen them get very backed up. We will send a file to them and get it back the very next day.
Wow. Okay. So if an agent's writing or a consumer's writing a contract, 30 to 45 days max that we would need to do those.
I like to see a 30-day contract for sure.
Yeah.
But again, right now with their turn times, that's not a problem with Georgia.
So we underwrite the loan initially. We approve it. All the things that we need to do. We go through the process and then we send the package to Georgia Dream and have them underwrite it behind us.
Yes. So it's a little different than our in-house things that we do when we close. We will get it completely cleared to close internally with our underwriters.
Okay.
Then we take the package, we send it to Georgia Dream's underwriter, and that's when you're looking at their turn time. So right now, again, 1 to 2 days, we have it back. Sometimes there may be 1 or 2 conditions. Sometimes we get it back cleared on the very first go around. But if there's any conditions, they're very, very small, easy things to fix. And we usually get it back to them like within hours.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about assets. So if you are trying to get qualified for this mortgage and you have money in the bank, that could potentially be an issue with this program.
It could, yeah. I mean, obviously this is targeted for people that need that down payment assistance, right? However, you're not going to be penalized for things like a 401k that you've been building, since you started working with your career. Typically, so with Georgia Dream, you're limited to after closing. So if you have any out-of-pocket costs at the closing table, you're not going to be able to have more than $20,000 in liquid assets or 20% of the purchase price.
Okay, that's a great point.
Greater of the two.
Okay.
Which we don't run into often.
Okay.
I mean, typically, once again, the people that are coming to us for this, they need the money for the down payment because they don't have that big chunk of money. So just keep that in mind. 20% or 20,000 greater of the two, and 401k is not included in that.
Also, they have, or we have rolled out a VA loan with them as well, which is essentially a regular VA loan. You don't have to be a first-time home buyer.
Correct.
But
income limits.
Income limits. And
reduced interest
rate.
Yes.
It's an amazing loan.
It is. Yes. Once again, same kind of concept as Georgia Dream, geared towards veterans, lower interest rate, but you do have to meet those income limits.
They also have come out with a new program for people that exceeds the income limits called Peach Plus.
Yes. So same as Georgia Dream, you're just in a higher income limit bracket. So if you exceed that Georgia Dream income limit, that's the second loan that I'm going to look at for you. If you exceed it, I'm going to go to that. A little bit higher interest rate, but again, you're getting that same down payment assistance, 0% interest on it. It's a great option. And one thing I want to point out about income limits when it comes to Georgia Dream, it is household income.
Great point.
Yeah, I get that quite often. Someone will call me and say, well, I make, $60,000 a year. Okay, great. How many dependents do you have? Are you married? Who's going to be living in the home? Well, my wife is, but she's not on the loan. Unfortunately, we still have to consider her income when it comes to the limits.
We even have to consider if grandma lives there.
Anybody that's going to live in the home.
Yeah.
Correct.
Adult children. Same
Yep.
thing. And we have to disclose everything.
Yes, and we have to have their income documentation as well, even though they're not on the loan. And that there's just no way around it.
Right. Yeah, they look at that very closely.
Very closely.
We also have to get a home buyer counseling course as well, correct?
Correct. That's correct. And that's common in a lot of first-time home buyer programs. They can do it online. It takes 30 minutes, maybe an hour. Do it at your leisure, and then you'll get a certificate and send that back over to us, and then it's done.
But we need to do that before the file goes to Georgia Dream to get cleared.
Correct.
Okay.
It's worth the time when you're getting that huge chunk of money with 0% interest.
Absolutely. And with the reduced interest rate.
Correct.
The seller can also pay on the regular Georgia Dream loan 6% towards closing costs.
Yes. And so what I a lot of times up front will ask people what is your max out of pocket? Do you have any money, or are you like, I really need to keep everything in my pocket? And in that case, I would reach out to their real estate agent and say, hey, when you get ready to put an offer in, please call me. I will run the numbers for you. I will tell you exactly what dollar amount I need in closing costs to get this person's out of pocket as close to zero as possible. Georgia Dream does require that you have at least $1,000 into investment into the purchase.
$1,000.
$1,000.
Okay.
And it can be your earnest money. So keep that in mind. But so potentially with this program, $1,000, you can buy a brand new house.
Your total investment, $1,000.
$1,000.
I mean, that's just amazing to help first-time home buyers in this market, to get them in the home, to at least get them started.
Correct.
Because, a lot of times you can buy a house cheaper than rent. Nowadays, depending upon what area you're looking at.